As the U.S.-Iran showdown and talks continue, U.S. President Donald Trump is weighing his options when it comes to dealing with the Islamic Republic, and Israel is in the equation.
The aircraft are in position. Second American aircraft carrier is in strike position. The targets are mapped. What remains is the decision. According to reports, President Donald Trump has discussed the possibility of Israel taking the lead in a potential strike on Iran. The logic is strategic. An Israeli first move would reshape the battlefield instantly, drawing in regional dynamics before Washington throws its full weight. The plan is simple. Israel will lead the attack, the Iranians would retaliate, and then the overpowering American firepower comes into play. Trump accused Iran of pursuing nuclear ambitions, though Tehran insists its program is for civilian purposes.
The US said that Iran should declare that we will not have nuclear weapons. Well, the Supreme Leader has already said that we will not have nuclear weapons at all.
US Secretary of State Marco Rubio claims Tehran trying to build intercontinental ballistic missiles which are designed solely to strike America.
They're trying to achieve intercontinental ballistic missiles. For example, you've seen them try to launch satellites into space. You've seen them increasing the range of the missiles they have now. And clearly they are headed in a pathway to one day being able to develop weapons that could reach the continental U.S.
The US and Iranian delegations are meeting at the Omani ambassador's residence in Geneva. UN nuclear chief Rafael Grossi is also part of the discussions. For Israel, the stakes are existential. For Iran, sovereignty and regime survival are paramount. For Washington, credibility is on the line. The military options carries immense risks. Iranian retaliation could target Israeli cities, US bases and maritime routes. Regional escalation would be swift. Oil markets would react instantly. Yet, the diplomatic track is fragile. Trust is minimal, demands are maximal. Trump's calculation now rests on timing and leverage. Push harder to extract concessions, or greenlight a strike that could redraw the region overnight. Threats are escalating, war plans are ready, but the final order has not been given. Bureau Report, WION World is One.
Joining us live on the broadcast is Yusuf Jadali. He is a journalist from Tehran. Yusuf, welcome back to WION. We are getting news and reports and information that talks in Geneva have been paused. What can you tell us about that?
Of course, Susan, we initially heard that the talks ended after almost 4 hours in Geneva, but then we heard new reports suggesting that the talks would resume in almost 15 minutes from now. They would get back to the negotiating table and continue their discussions. The reason for the pause, as cited and mentioned by Iranian state broadcaster, the IRIB, they said that the two sides, the two negotiating teams, needed to take a break and contact their capitals and review some the proposals from each side and arrive at a conclusion. But of course, from the reports by different news outlets, we can predict that the talks have been almost positive. But of course, there are some also reports suggesting that the United States has proposed some terms which have not been accepted by the Islamic Republic of Iran, including the need for Iran to entirely dismantle its key enrichment facilities, including Fordo, Natanz, and Isfahan. These are the facilities which came under strikes by the United States back in June last year. This is a no-go for Tehran. This has been a non-starter for the Islamic Republic since day one. The Islamic Republic says that it is open to showing some flexibility when it comes to the level of enrichment. But of course, zero enrichment and entire dismantlement of its nuclear capabilities is a no-go, and it is a red line actually for the Islamic Republic. So it remains to be seen how the talks would continue, given the fact that the United States has made it clear that it wants the ballistic missile program to be on any new deal reached with Iran. It wants Iran to dismantle the stockpile of highly enriched uranium, 409 kilos of 60% enriched uranium. So these are the sticking points, and we have to wait and see how the talks would go.
And, for years, Iran seems to have been consistent on what it's willing to accept and its stance. Do you have any news or any reports, or can you tell us that perhaps where it is that Iran is willing to maybe bend a little bit to some of the demands that the United States is making, or does it more or less have the same stance?
Well, in the eyes of the Islamic Republic, the JCPOA, the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, which is the 2015 nuclear deal reached between Iran and world powers, including the United States itself, this is a viable way out of this standoff, so to speak. That deal saw Iran limiting its enrichment to 3.67%. Of course, excuse me, that is the cap set by that deal. And Tehran, once again, is insisting that it wants to, of course, preserve a certain level of enrichment, not zero enrichment. Zero enrichment is actually a no-go for Tehran. Tehran has made it clear in the past rounds of discussions, including now, that it is not willing to abandon its right to enriching uranium. So that level of uranium enrichment, which given the fact that Iran is now able to enrich more to up to 60% purity, that is a significant concession if the United States accept this. So this could be addressed or resolve these sticking points for now.
All right. Well, thank you so much for all of that, Youssef Jalali. Of course, we'll be watching these talks and what happens next in the next few weeks, days, and I look forward to speaking to you again very soon.